Alright, what I'm going to do today is I ordered a set of a dozen of these Chinese Rage broadheads, the ones that are the knockoffs off eBay. We paid $9 a dozen for these, so a little under $1 a piece per broadhead. What I wanted to do before I take them out into the field is find out if they actually work. They feel good, they feel sharp. I'll do a bigger review portion on that probably earlier in the video, so we'll just go ahead and get to it, but I'll explain what I'm going to do. What I have here is the hind quarter off of an elk that we shot yesterday. I'm going to test this broadhead on it to see what kind of penetration it gets. I'm going to try and hit the leg bone when I shoot. I'm going to shoot it through it a few times. I want to hit the leg bone. I want to see if the blades break, how the broadhead holds up. So that's what I'm going for. This whole quarter, I'm going to burger the whole thing, so I'm not worried about losing any of the meat or cutting up any steaks or doing any damage there. I'm going to sausage and burger the whole thing. So we got 3 more tags to go. We should have no problem filling those tags. So this one here, I'm going to go ahead and use for the greater good and try and better my knowledge and experience with these broadheads if they work or don't work. I really don't want to take something out into the field and start using it on live animals if I don't trust it. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot, see what happens. So I'm going to step back to 30 yards. I'm going to shoot this into that hind quarter and we'll see what kind of penetration we get. See if we can hit the bone, see if the broadhead can hold up against the bone. I got a couple pieces of plywood behind that as well to stop it, make sure it's not going to go through. I don't think we'll get any more penetration than that, I think. And for fair warning, this quarter has been frozen. It's not quite frozen. It's probably just a few degrees above frozen, so it's going to stop a broadhead a lot better than a live animal is going to because it's a little more dense, but we'll see what we can get. My biggest thing I want to do is know if this blade or this broadhead is going to take a hit through bone or if it's going to break, bend, or deflect. So let's see what happens. Okay, here's the first shot. As you can see, the blade did open up on contact, which is good. I shot the first one to the right just through the meat so we could go ahead and get a couple rounds through it in different places. But as you can see, it did open up. It did go all the way through. It went all the way through the quarter. And stuck in the plywood on the backside. So, see if we can get it out, see what we got. As you can see, the blade did open up. Looks like it's got at least 1.5 inch hole across here at the opening. Gets a little wider as it goes in, but the broadhead came out. As you can see here, came out, did not break any of the blades. There's the blades there. So, broadhead's still in good shape. I'm gonna clean it up, spin the shot cup, and shoot it again. Alright, got the same blade back in. One thing I did notice is the shock cup, where it's got the different petals that are supposed to break off when you shoot it. It broke all of them but one. So where on a Rage they claim you can use it 3 times, I haven't shot any of them into anything to find out, or reused them. But this one was only able to use 1 time, so I grabbed a different shock cup, cleaned it up a little bit, same blade. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot it through again and see what we get. Again, Looks like the blade opened up just fine. Again, stuck in the board behind it, same depth. Bring that around so I can show you. Stuck in the plywood, about the same depth, same penetration. So all the way through the quarter, which is about, I would say, 6 or 7 inches of nearly frozen meat. Not quite frozen, but close. Through it and into the plywood that far behind it, which is 1/2 inch plywood. Let's see. Now, so I'm gonna pull it out. Again, opened up just fine. Good 2-inch cut all the way through. Blades are good. Well, the tip still nice and sharp, not bent over or anything. I'm gonna go clean this one up. We're gonna go ahead and do it again. Just keep moving our way across until we get the bone, and we'll see what how they'll handle on bone. So. All right, we're gonna go for the third shot with the same broadhead. Again, the shock cup broke all of the petals off. I had to get a new one. Luckily, I got a dozen of these. I'll have to order some replacement ones. Let's give it third shot. All right. Third shot. Again, no issue with the blades opening. They open just fine. All the way through. And this time it actually went clear through the plywood. So, went through the first layer of plywood. Coming out the back. So this one might be a little harder to get out, but again, no issue with the blades deploying. Opened up just fine. Got a nice big entrance. See if I can pull it out. Okay. Again, nice big hole, good open. Blade still intact. Tip still looking pretty good, pretty sharp. Again, looks like the shock cup is broke all the way around again. So I'm gonna clean it up one more time and shoot it through here one more time. Okay. As you can see on this one, we got the bone. It went ahead and it did stop the arrow. Broadhead did open up, you can see that there. Let's see if I can get it out. Might take me a minute. May even have to cut it open. That's alright, because I'm going to cut this quarter up anyway, but let's see if we can get this arrow out. See what kind of damage we've done to the head, or if the head still took it and it's just fine. Well, I got the blade out of the quarter. Had to wiggle it about 15 times back and forth, and it finally popped loose. Looking at the blade, nothing broke. Shock cup, obviously, but that's supposed to give. The tip went into the bone. I really can't see any bending in that. It also looks pretty good. Didn't break the blades. It opened just fine again on impact. No issues there. Nice big cut in the quarter. I'm going to go ahead and get my knife and peel some of this quarter back and see what it did to the bone inside. I'd like to see how much penetration it got. I don't expect a lot. I've already shot this blade through this quarter 3 times and it's nearly frozen. It's good and hard. Let's see what we got. The blades still look good. I know it got into the bone. There's some marrow up inside of this where the slip cam goes up and down. So let's cut it open and see what we got in there. Alright, it'll be super hard to see this on camera, but I'm gonna try. Okay, so inside here, you can see this line, right? If I can get the camera to focus here. Here. So that slit right there is where the broadhead went in. It's bone on both sides of here. It's pretty hard bone, that leg bone right there, right below that knuckle. So it's a good place to hit it. One of the thickest points. The broadhead looks like it got in. I mean, that's solid bone right there, and we're getting at least a good 1/2 inch into that bone. Blade wise, it got probably a 1/4 inch in with the open blades. So it didn't do too bad considering it's been shot through this quarter 3 times, but it's also, like I said, remember this quarter is partially frozen. I mean, this thing is pretty stiff. It's almost froze, not quite. It's only about 14 degrees out here right now, so. All right, it's a little weird doing this down on the floor because for some reason I seem to get better contrast with the blades and stuff at this angle so you can see it better. With these broadheads, the bow I'm shooting them out of is a Bowtech RPM 360. I'm shooting the Easton Axis 5mm 340 spline arrows, 100 grain heads. The total arrow weight should be about 420 grains, and then they should be shooting at about 295 feet per second. So that kind of gives you a comparison to your setup for penetration. So I just shot the broadhead through the elk quarter 4 times. First 3 times complete pass-throughs and into the plywood. First 2 times the broadhead stopped in the plywood. The 3rd time it went completely through the plywood and stopped in the 2nd sheet of plywood. And the last time it did stop in the bone. Granted, it is an elk bone. The quarter also is nearly frozen. I mean, you can probably see in the video that it's pretty tough. It's not real pliable meat right now. It is probably just a couple degrees shy of frozen. So after shooting it through 4 times and into the bone 1 time, as you can see, the broadhead held up really, really well. The blades didn't break. They didn't bend. The tip is still crazy pointy, or sharp, I guess you could say. The very, very tip of it did bend just a tiny, tiny bit up here. But it's still, I mean, it still snags your finger sharp. So it is definitely still good. The blades, on the other hand, actually, you know what? They're still pretty sharp too. I don't know if you can see it, but if you look really close, if I can get the camera to focus, right at the very top of this blade right here, it chipped just a tiny bit when it went into that leg bone. But other than that, these things they actually really surprised me. They're flying straight. They opened up on impact every single time. The only issue was the shock cup down here at the bottom. This little clip ring that keeps these blades from deploying. Worked great, but the Rage hypodermics claim, I've never shot them 3 times, but they claim that you can shoot the same shock cup 3 times, just pull it back, spin the shock cup, and put it back on. Every single time I shot these, it broke every single pad off of that shock cup except for one. See if you can see this. see that little black piece right here? It's a little taller, and the rest it's all gone. It broke them off all the way around. So if you plan on shooting your blades or your broadheads more than one time and reusing them, I never reuse a broadhead, so I don't have that issue. I just don't like the introducing any sort of chance of failure. I like to switch them out every time. Miss, whether I hit an animal, I get new heads. Especially if you're buying these when they're only 75 cents a piece. You can't beat that. So if you ask me, stop wasting your money. Stop buying the Rages. If you shoot Rage hypodermics, give these a try. Like I said, I just shot it through an elk quarter 4 times into the bone. Didn't break a blade, didn't bend a blade. I have shot the Rage hypodermics, and they are very similar in comparison between the two.